Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome. Tonight we're going to be talking about a hobby of mine, which is ordering coffee the right way from Starbucks. So what we're going to be covering is how to properly order a drink from Starbucks. Reason being, we want you to be able to impress others with your flawless coffee orders and rattling off things like an expert. So the main components of a Starbucks drink consist of the size, then you've got your adjective, the subject, which is the main event of the drink, and then you've also got your special instruction. A lot of people want to skip over the special instruction, but it's very important. But first, let's take a look at the sizes. So Starbucks is a little bit different. They think that they're very special and unique and magical, so they have different sizes. So instead of small, they have tall. Instead of medium, they have grande. And instead of large, they have venti. Now they've recently, in the last few years, added a special extra large size that's only available for certain drinks, and that is called Trenta. Now interestingly enough, the tall size is their small drink, but tall is actually a synonym for big, which is interesting. So then their medium size is actually the Italian word for big, which is grande. And then you've also got venti, which is just the Italian word for 20. Which is interesting because the venti drink is actually 24 ounces. It's not 20 ounces. Then you've got Trenta, which is Italian for 30. Now, the Trenta is actually 31 ounces, so it's a little bit closer. So that's very important. If you use the words small, medium, or large, you will be promptly corrected by the barista, so make sure and get it right the first time. Now, the adjective. The adjective is obviously a describing word of your subject. So examples might include hot or iced. You might order it low fat, or you might order it decaf, and then you can also order it with caramel. Now make sure and say caramel because a low maintenance person would say caramel, and they don't go to Starbucks. So make sure and say caramel. Now what's also interesting about caramel is it can be an adjective or it can be a special instruction, depending on where you want it to go in your drink. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to special instructions. But first, let's go into the subject. This is the main event of your drink. That is the crux of everything that you've just ordered so far. So you've got your basic coffee, or you might have espresso, or you might get a little bit fancy with specialty names like Americano and Cappuccino. Now, these are the things that your drink is built on. So, for example, you would have a grande iced Americano. So the Americano is the main thing, but you've got to have your adjective and your size in that order. If you say it out of order, it's very, very detrimental to the barista, and they get very frustrated. But you especially cannot forget the special instruction. So special instruction examples might be with room. With room is very important. In fact, I would recommend that you order with room drinks, anything hot. So if you order a tall, hot Americano, I would absolutely get it with room. Because if you don't, then they'll give you a 12-ounce cup with 13 ounces of hot coffee. Somehow they do it, I don't know how. But when you try to walk away, even a little bit of motion will spill hot coffee all over your hand, the floor, and your shoes. So make sure and order with room on anything hot. That way they actually give you a normal amount. You can also order no whip as your special instruction if you have a Frappuccino that traditionally comes with whipped cream. Or you might even spring for extra whip. And then you could also get caramel. Remember, this is the wild card we saw back in adjectives. So caramel, if you want it to be on top of your drink, you would put it here at the end of your order in special instructions. Now, if you want it to be mixed into the drink, then you would put it in the adjective, which actually goes before your subject. For example, a grande caramel macchiato extra whip. That would have caramel inside of the drink. Now, this is very important because if you want caramel in both parts, you might say grande caramel macchiato with caramel. And then that way the barista knows to put it both inside and on top of the drink. So, now you guys know how to properly order a Starbucks drink and look like a sophisticated, unique, young individual by ordering at Starbucks. Does anyone have any questions? Jimmy? Awesome, all right. You guys take care. We'll see you next week.